all you Facebook and YouTubers. Rocco the Rebel here. Just thought I'd make a quick video for you. Well, as quick as I can anyways. A lot of people have been asking me about a good bag, what it is, why I have one, and why anyone would need one. A good bag stands for Get Out of Dodge. It's basically a bag for any type of emergency situation where you can't stay at home. Your house has become unsafe to you, whether it be your windows are broken and your door can't lock and there's no heat in your home. Anyways, multiple different reasons. Water all over your house, but the whole city's an emergency, so no one can get to you. Trust me, like in situations like Katrina and shit, people felt the worst, and everyone who wasn't prepared ended up biting the bullet for it. So let's get started on basically my good bag. Now, like I said, this is only for when you absolutely have to leave your home. Obviously, like your best idea would be to bunker in and have supplies here ready for any situation, such as the ice storm we even faced here in Ottawa back in '98, I believe it was. Anyways, I bought a regular basic tack pack from LeBaron. See that there? Got lots of pockets, straps to make it more comfortable, really, really strong shoulder straps. It's all basically military grade. That's pretty much what you're looking for, something relatively strong that's going to take a beating and last a while. So anyways, yeah, that bag there is what I pack everything in. Just strap it to your back and you're ready to go. Now, this here is my walking stick. Now, I carved this from a cedar hedge. You can pick any piece of wood you want. I'd recommend something strong, and you can use it. I got lucky. I ended up with a little hook here, carved it into a point, hooks into rocks really nicely and stuff when I'm hiking. Carve that end. You get a look at that there. I tried to make it look like a beaver ate it. Whatever. Anyways, yeah, so I find this stick is very good for helping me get through the bush and pushing things out of your way. Also, if you don't want to touch something but you want to flip something over, it's really good extra extension of your arm. It's also really good for self-defense, but we'll get into that later. Anyways, that's that. Now this is another stick I carry with me. This was made for me by a friend of mine, so that I just strapped to my bag where your sleeping bag would normally go, and yeah, I would use it for anything basically. It's almost like a soft hammer because it's made out of wood. I wouldn't use this particular piece because, like I said, a friend of mine made it for me. It's nice and stained and varnished, all that. It's got a rope going through for a handle, so I wouldn't use this piece in particular, but definitely just get a piece of wood the size of it, maybe a bit shorter. Use that for banging. Now, let's get into the big kit. I bought these Coughlin's waterproof bags. Okay, and basically the way that they work is they're designed on a Velcro system here, and then the bag folds a whole bunch of times on the inside. And that's how you get the water seal, you see. All those folds there. Try to get a good view of that. And then it actually folds in on itself, like so. And that's when you apply. Anyways, you get the idea. They're waterproof bags. They're water resistant. Nothing's really waterproof. This is a wet drop bag, so basically if I ever have to cross a river, anything like that, it nicely folds into itself. All I have to do is pull it out, wrap all my stuff in it. I can throw my backpack right in there, seal it up, throw it in the water, swim across with all my clothes and everything inside. So that's very handy for when you find yourself in a situation where you need to be moving. Also, I went and bought some multi-purpose utility cord. So you got that from the dollar store, $1.25. Now you might want to go buy a better brand from a better store. I find that the dollar store stuff works fine. Same thing with the fire starters I have. These are dollar store bought, 99 cents I think for a pack of 12. So can't go wrong. They work, trust me. used them before. This is my compass. Now I use a Silva with a mirror. I like the mirror because the mirror is very good for flashing, trying to signal. You can also use Morse code. If you know the code, you can use it with lights. So it's a good way to get attention and try and be found if you're ever lost or stranded anywhere. I see a helicopter flying by. Yeah. These are my pellets. I'm going to put them aside just because that's something we'll be talking about a little later. Anyways, yeah, that's the instructions for my compass, just in case I can't figure it out on my own, you know. But anyways, it's always good to have those around. Water containers, very important. This one's metal. I like it. It's aluminum, I believe. Nice and light, easy to carry around. And then I also have my, I call it a wine bag. You can call it whatever you want. I call it a wine bag, but basically open up the end there, fill it up with water, and sits right on you. Throw the rope over your shoulder, and it has this spout here for drinking. Oh, there we go. See? That goes on, and you got a nice little spout. Squeeze the bag, and it squirts right into your mouth. Pretty easy, pretty handy. Water is one of the most important things. You're going to want to try and find water. If you can, fill these up before you go anywhere, because water is hard to come by sometimes. Now, another thing I have is a Lansky Arkansas Softstone. Now it comes in this nice little case here. This is what it looks like when it's all closed up. The way you use this is just flip it over on itself like so. Place it down on the ground, and you're going to wet this brick here with an oil, or I tend to just use soap and water. I find that works great, and it doesn't get the stone all oily. So yeah, that's what I use. Now, if you don't know how to sharpen your knife, I'm not going to go through that. This is just the stone I use to do it. You're going to have to go look up another video, tell you the way to sharpen your knife. Now this is a tube tent. Okay, and the only reason why I have this is because I hate tents. I always build my own shelter. You won't see me using a tent unless it's a dire need, last resort, can't build a shelter in time. I'll throw up this tent real fast, and that's why I have it, in case of an emergency where I can't build a shelter fast enough. These right here are Snaplight light sticks. I bought the 12-hour brand, but you can get 6-hour, 24-hour. They come in all different types of lengths of time that they're good for. I buy the red ones. I just like the red. You can get them any color as well, just like I said. All you have to do with these is open up the package, crack the light, and shake it, and basically it's fully ready to go. You got light, you can throw it into a cave or into a hole to see how deep it is. Many reasons to carry these. Trust me, they're a vital part of survival in the bush. These are my Everlast wrist wraps. Now, these aren't exactly needed. I just put them in because I find that if you're going to be climbing trees or something, it'd be nice to wrap your wrists so that, you know, you don't sprang them or anything if you fall. Now, I'm not going to stress this enough about your fire source. Human beings cannot survive without a heat source. You need to have backups upon backups upon backups for starting a fire. So this is one of my methods, just Redbird Strike Anywhere matches. Okay? I keep those out of the waterproof bags just because I'm running out of room in them, and it's kind of a big box. I guess I could always dump them in there and just cut the strike strips off the side. They are Strike Anywhere matches, though. You could just find a rough rock or concrete surface and throw them in there. Now, a lot of you are going to be kind of confused as to why I would carry condoms in my go bag. There's a very good reason for that. Condoms in your go bag, what you don't realize about a condom is that you can put anything in it and then save it from the elements around it. So just like it would stop STDs from getting to you, it will stop most things like water molecules and stuff like that from getting to anything inside of them. So they also have a lubricant on them. If you ever find yourself in metal parts, need a lubricant. It's not a great one. It's not like grease, but it's a lubricant, whatever. Anyways, I carry these. I have another one somewhere. I'm not 100%. There it is. It's just a smaller one. Anyways, they're just Canadian flags. I want to sew them on my bag. I actually haven't gotten to do that yet, but I will try to get to it eventually, just because if I ever am running, I'd like people to know where I'm from and who I am. I'm a Canadian, you know, so I appreciate that, and thought I'd pick some up and throw in my bag. This is my Coughlin's Flint Striker and magnesium bar. Sorry, forgot the word there. Anyway, so basically how this works, this is another fire starter. Basically how this works is you can see I've actually cut off a section of magnesium there. This whole brick here is magnesium, and that little bar in there is my flint. So I cut the magnesium off here so I can have a better access to my flint with the striker. Now my striker is just the backside of a buck knife, so you can pretty much use anything, any rough metal surface that will, even a rock probably will get that flint to strike a spark. So magnesium's what you do is create a pile of magnesium on top of a pile of tinder, and then you would try and spark the magnesium, and the magnesium burns at a very hot temperature. It'll catch your tinder right away. This is kind of interesting. Pick this up at LeBaron as well. It is a snake bite kit. Now, comes with suction cups, a little string with a ringlet around it to tie off the blood, you know, like a pull wherever you got bit, anyways, to stop it from getting to you. And then it comes with instructions, a little vial of anti-venom applicator. See that right there? Applicate that to the bite. And it also comes with a scalpel. Now this scalpel here, in the directions it says you're supposed to cut an X over the bite wounds of the bite mark, and then you use the suction cup that this thing nicely comes into over the bite wounds and pull the poison out using the suction. So that's essentially how that works. Now I've never gotten to try that, and where I live here in Ottawa there aren't any poisonous snakes, but I do happen to go up to MacTier and stuff, sorry, the Muskoka area. I have some family out there, and there's Mississauga rattlers and stuff like that out there, so you have to be a little careful. You never know. I live in Ontario. You might live in an area where there's eastern or western diamondbacks, and then you would really want that kit. These are just some basic straps. They came with the bag. They actually attach to the bag. I strap these in, and that's how I carry around that big stick that I showed you earlier. Straps right to the bag. Now this is my first aid kit. Oh, and in one of those waterproof bags I have a little just flip book of matches. You see what I mean? Always, oh, and a lighter. Sorry, but you always want to be backups for backups for backups when it comes to having fire. This is a first aid kit. This actually isn't my first aid kit, but it is in my good bag. It's my friend Jeff's. Thanks a lot, Jeff. He moved out, and I managed to grab a bunch of his stuff for him, and he hasn't been able to claim it yet. So I'm holding it in there. Hopefully, when I see him again, I'll be able to give this back to him. So that's that. There's a lot in there. A lot. You want to have a lot when it comes to first aid: bandages, gauze, disinfectants, anything you possibly can. I've kind of refilled it because it was a bit empty when I got it, but there's a stethoscope and a blood pressure monitor in there. Like, there's some good things. Another thing I carry is just a basic, I think you can get it at Scouts Canada. It's just like a metal tin. Basically, this is a pot, as you see. You can use that as a pan, I mean, sorry. You got your food bowl here, and then you have an actual pot inside that you could hang over a fire stove, cook some soup or something in there. Measuring cup, or even just a cup to drink something out of, and a lid for that little pot. You see, so all that, I think that was like $12, whatever it was. Now I've stuffed in here peanut butter, little packets of peanut butter, and I even have more packets of peanut butter sitting around somewhere. And the reason why I do that, you might say, that's stupid, why would you bring around peanut butter, da 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 da, whatever. Your reason being, and I'll tell you why I do pack peanut butter, and it's because peanut butter has a lot of protein in it. If you can't find anything to eat, you could probably eat 3 or 4 of these packets and at least get on for another 6 hours. You know what I mean? It's something in your stomach. But also my main reason for it is to bait traps. Peanut butter has a strong smell. Animals love it. And all you have to do is pretty much stick a stick in there, rub it on, make sure that that stick ends up as your trap trigger. And the moment that animal goes onto that stick for that peanut butter, the trap engages and you have yourself real food. You know what I mean? So that's not really something I would want to eat, but it is there if I have to. But mostly what it's there for is to catch something to eat. So yeah, put that back. Alright. Now, like I said, I live in Ontario. We do get snow up here. And when it snows, it's fucking cold. For example, excuse my language, if there's any kids watching, but for example, it's minus 38 outside right now with the wind chill, and we got about 3.5 feet of snow in my front lawn. And I live in the city, Ottawa. We don't even get a lot of snow. So yeah, it's not the greatest weather here, especially for if you're gonna have to run outside. I carry just regular balaclava, honestly, just to keep my face cold. It's cold out there. And then on top of that, I'd usually wear this big, fluffy, well-insulated hat, keep my ears warm, sides of my face. And then this hat too is also my friend Jeff's. He has to come pick up, but I just have, as you can see, more peanut butter packets in here. I got a lot, actually. That hat's being weighed down by peanut butter packets. I carry a bandana. Bandana can be used for many different things. It's a perfect piece of clothing to bandage a wound. Anything like that, you just have to get it disinfected and clean, and you can use it for all kinds of things. Get a handkerchief, wipe the sweat out of your eyes, whatever you got to do, man. It's got a million uses. It's also, may only be cotton, but she's strong, and like I said, it's cotton, fire starter. If you're smart, you got to be somewhat knowledgeable in the bush. You'll never just get along being an idiot. I'm sorry, like, if you don't know a whole lot and you don't ever go out there and get the experience before the shit hits the fan, when it does, odds are you probably won't do as well as you think you would. These are just orange, large industrial garbage bags. Like I said, waterproofing, big thing out there in the bush. Big thing is waterproofing. You don't want something getting wet. Easily throw them all in here, double bag it, tie them up. At least you know your shit's good. All you got to worry about is humidity. Now, I'll show you this first, I guess. This is just a little rack I picked up at LeBaron. Set that, well, I guess you can't really see it sitting on the table, but you set that just down over a fire, and it's got a grill rack on it. You can cook whatever you catch or have on it. Very handy. This is just a basic case for glasses. Now, right now, it's got elastics in it, I think. Yeah, Ziploc bag of elastics. Those are very handy. Once again, something that has a million uses. You just gotta use your brain to figure them out. Now, what I would use this for is foraging small things like berries and stuff. It's very easy to slip into a pocket or something, and when you're walking around, you see something like a raspberry bush, grab a couple, throw them in your mouth, and throw some in there. Very simple, you know what I mean? And then you have them on you, bring them back to wherever your camp is, whatever. You can use anything for that. You don't have to use an eyeglasses case. You can use anything small that fits in your pocket that closes and holds stuff. It's pretty basic. I'm just going to dump all that so that that's good now. In here I have a few things. This is a hand crank radio and light, and it's got a solar power there. It also charges phones, all that stuff, but yeah, basically crank it and starts working. I think this was like $24 or something. It's made by Eaton. I think I got it at Walmart. My mom gave it to me anyways, wherever she got it. She gave it to me for this bag. So this is just a basic Energizer headlamp here, and as you can see, it folds down, so you can look down while you're working, but it's mostly just to go like that, and it has a couple different settings. This is actually given to me by a good buddy Mark, so you can go just red light. As you see, just one light in the middle here pops up red, and then you can go full light. I like that because if you don't want everyone, like let's say you're in a situation where you don't want people knowing that you're there, you turn that on and it's a very low light when you're looking down. It doesn't shine off the ground or reflect white light anywhere. It's a red light, whereas when you have that, it will reflect off leaves and stuff and snow, and you will be seen. Another thing I carry is just shoelaces. You never know when another piece of rope or shoelace or anything like that will come in handy. It's pretty often you need a rope to tie something, whether it be a knife to the end of a stick or whatever it may be, what have you. Now, this is a highlighter. Why I carry a highlighter in my bag is so that I can highlight my route on my map with my compass, so I know where I've already been. That's something I do personally. You don't have to learn how to do that or pick that up. That's your own personal doing. I just do that. These are just cords for that charger thing I was telling you about, just to charge the phone, the hand crank radio. This is a flashlight. It's made by C.A.W. TCA Canada. It's a tactical flashlight, very hard. You can hit it on just about anything. Turns on just by the twist. Not the greatest light, but you can concentrate it, which is nice. Anyways, it only takes one AA battery, so that's why I carry it. Lasts a long time. Very good little flashlight. This is basically something you would use if you needed to apply an adhesive to something that was too smooth. It's for a bike tire, but you can use it for anything. And as you see, it's just got little teeth there. And the idea is you would just take this and go to your surface, bend it over your thumb like so, and scratch your surface with it to get an abrasive side that you could apply an adhesive to. That's about it. This is just a key ring. You can use that for anything. It's a good tie-off point, even if you can get it lodged into a tree or something like that. There's a lot of ideas you can come up with for that. Honestly, it's a multi-purpose tool. Like I said, these are two other sizes of those bags that I have, the waterproof Cogwins bags. I like them. They work. Now, the reason why I tell you stuff that I'm showing you works, or if it doesn't, is because either I have or haven't tried it. I've actually went out this winter and stayed in the bush. I did it for about 2 days just to make sure I'm still able to do it, because what you have to understand is that every season from spring, summer, fall, winter, you're facing different challenges. it's always something different, whether it be rain, too much sun, not enough water, to freezing cold, to too much water. It just goes on and on and on. So you always have to kind of see how nature is doing during each season and how you're going to learn to cope with it. That's something you're going to have to do. I'm not going to teach you how to do that here today. And now we're getting into the little bit of that what I have left. Now this is more of your self-defense tool type range. This is where you can get whatever you want. I just prefer what I got. Now I do have an axe, but it's not here. I recommend getting an axe or a machete. They're very handy in the bush. Anyways, so I'll start it off with my little Crown Royal sack. Okay, and what this has in it is just gold. Gold and coins and silver rings and just anything you can find that has like a basic value that you wouldn't be using. You know what I mean? You don't wear it every day, whatever. I just keep it in the sack because if anything does ever happen, someone might actually have something I want to trade for. And if gold is something they're willing to trade for, yeah, I'm willing to trade a useless material for something that would help me in the bush for sure. Now that's that. But you don't have to do that. That's just me. I do that. Okay? That's not every situation you're going to need to have some kind of currency on you. Now, this is my Crossman air gun. Okay? It shoots a 22 caliber pellet, and show you that it shoots up to 495 feet per second, just based on how many times you pump that out. Okay, you can pump it from 3 to 10 times, and it fires 495 feet per second with a 22 caliber pellet. You could take out a rabbit or a squirrel or some kind of small game to get you through to the next day, and that's why it's there. Now I carry Premier Hollow Point 22 caliber pellets. These are the ones that I like because they expand on impact, which gives you a greater hole, increasing damage to your target. So less time it takes for the target to feel the effects of your shot, let's say. Now, this is my bush machete, I call it, but it's actually a kukuri. This is the name of it. I call it a bush machete. You can call it whatever you want. It's got a saw blade on the back there, and trust me, that does work. That's actually what I cut that heater stick with, was that saw blade right there. Nice sharp blade on the end of it. Big orange reflective handle with a handguard. Really like that for when you're in the bush. Stops a lot. If you hit your hand against a tree stump when you're swinging that hurts. You can break a few fingers. This handguard solves all those problems. Very nice. I think this was $25 at LeBaron. So very nice thing to pick up. Recommend everyone have one, especially if you feel like you're in the bush more often than not. That's a very good tool to have. Everyone should have a machete. Now this I actually just picked up. This is a K-bar. It's this one is actually the same model that's used by the Israeli military. This is their K-bar combat knife. Now I use this knife for just about anything. I mean, when you think about it, you could skin an animal. You could fight an animal if one came at you. I mean, if a bear came at you, I wouldn't recommend trying to fight him with a knife. But when worse comes to worse, if it's all you got, at least you got it, right? So anyways, but more than anything, it's a tool. Okay, knives are tools, regardless of what they look like or what their purpose is for. I know this was given to the Israeli military, probably to kill Palestinians, but that's a whole different story on its own, and I just bought the knife because I feel it's a very nice piece of metal, a very nice blade. That's for sure. Strong, full tang. That's one thing you want to look for when you're getting a knife. You don't want anything that's half tang, 3/4 tang, a quarter. This is all garbage. You want a full tang blade at all times, because if not, when you go to bang something on the other end of that blade, such as the stick I showed you there to try and make some kindling, stripping a log, you're going to have that blade break on you, and you could end up with that blade in you. That's not good ever, especially when you're already in a survival situation. This is another one I just picked up, actually. This is made by Mundial, Brazil. It's got a jaguar on it there. Really nice blade. I really like it. This would be more of like a fishing skinning knife. It's got a finesse with a nice round finger hook in it. You could play with it like that. It's definitely for getting inside and stripping skin from meat, as you can see. Any of you hunters out there will know what I'm talking about. Now these, I know they're the exact same, but whatever. These are my buck knives. Now you might ask, why do you have two of the exact same knife? Well, I happened to trade some knives for something, and one of them was a buck knife, the exact same one that I already had. But you know what? You can never go wrong when it comes with knives, because they don't last forever, and when they do break, you're going to want another one. That's a very strong knife right there, made by Buck. Okay, as you can see, that's the blade side. This is the back side. You see how thick that is? Bang a piece of wood on that all day, and it will cut wood. It will cut whatever you want, fish, anything. Very good knife. Very good knife. I love them, to be honest. Then I have, of course, two big ones. These are my Bowie knives. To be honest, this one is my favorite, just because of the full tang. You can see the handle running all the way through the blade there. See that? That's full tang. That's what I'm talking about. And my other one, made by Winchester, doesn't have that. You can't see the tang running all the way through the blade. So this is my favorite Bowie knife, by far. But I'll let you see the other one, just in case you haven't seen one before, because the other one is actually cheaper. The other one is only about 25 bucks at LeBaron. But like I said, it's not a full tang blade, so I don't recommend buying it. I just bought it because I actually thought it was full tang, and just bought it kind of running through the store, and ended up getting home and realizing it's not full tang. As you can see, that's a full wooden handle with just two bolts, so it inclines me to believe that the tang only goes to about there, which isn't good. I'm not happy with that at all, but that's what I got, so dealing with it. But this is the Winchester Bowie, and it is a very nice blade, I'm not gonna lie. Surgical steel too. It's not stainless, so it's a bit different, but not a fan of the tang on this one, not at all. I also have another knife. It's just a little standard Buck pocket knife. I don't really feel like showing that right now. It's just a regular thing. That's basically my tools, and then the only thing I really have left now. This item you don't have to have. I just got it strictly for self-defense, just in case the whole world goes to shit, just because I personally have my own feelings about the dollar and economy and all that, but whatever, that's beyond me. This prep isn't for that. It can be for any situation, like I said earlier. But anyways, I have a telescopic baton. As you can see there, that's now I'll throw it out for you. And that's it. This is completely legal where I live. You'll notice that everything in this bag is completely legal where I live. That's my own preference. Don't have any illegal weapons. But this is pretty much the weapon that I have in this bag, because I honestly think of my knives as tools more than weapons. I wouldn't pull out a knife to engage someone. In that scenario, it would probably be this first. Just because this has a lot more threat to it, I think, and extends my reach. I'll put that away later. It's a bit hard once you already throw it out. Should be stuff like that, though. Anyways, guys, that's about my go bag. There's a few other things I'm going to be going to get, but until I do that, I won't really have an update. Sorry that video took so long. I just felt that I should explain some things that were in there. Anyways, man, have a good day, and happy hunting.